The rules for this challenge are as follows. Use all available weapons in your loadout that you get from the boss. This includes incantations. You can use a finger seal for this because it is required, and great runes. Use the outfit of the boss you take down for the full look. You can use other weapons, however, all major and optional bosses have to be killed with the boss loadout you are currently using. You cannot use past loadouts, shields, bows, or incantations without using the rest of their loadout. The tutorial boss has to be killed in order to start the challenge because it's the earliest available boss loadout. Ashes of War are allowed to be applied on boss weapons. This next rule is optional, but whenever you get the chance to switch to another main boss's loadout, do it. Example, Godric, Radahn, Morgoth. This will keep me from basically over-leveling one loadout and being really powerful throughout the entire game. I made my character a samurai because it's the easiest class to kill the tutorial boss with, but that's not the only reason why. The short sword that the boss actually drops takes 14 dexterity, and the samurai starts with 15. So, if I've really wanted to pick another class that had enough dexterity, I could, but the samurai is still better for using the bow on the tutorial boss, and I picked a golden seed as my keepsake because, you know, having that extra crimson flask at the beginning is so nice. Now, the tutorial boss took me forever to do just because of how long it takes to reset the fight, but really shouldn't take you that long if you basically know how to play the game. Just keep your distance from the boss and use your mighty shot whenever you see an opening. However, if you run out of fire arrows, you're not going to be able to do it anymore, so just resort to using your normal shot after a while. This was the run that I actually beat the tutorial boss on. I have it sped up so I can actually fit the whole fight into one video and not have it be too long. But this was basically how I beat the fight. As I walked out of the tomb that was the tutorial boss, I take my first step into this boss weapons only challenge and make my way to the gate front. So while this cutscene is playing, I'm basically going to explain my priorities for this challenge. I want to use all the weapons and incantations of the main bosses, so using the shield really isn't required here. You can obviously just dual wield the straight swords. However, I'm going to be using the shield, and, you know, that's going to take a lot of strength. So I upgrade my strength up to 15 for now. I'm obviously going to get it to 24 later.
I am Melina. I offer you an accord. Have you heard of the follow?
So basically, I only have 15 strength, so when I approach these Godric soldiers, I try using the shield, and I basically just get destroyed because the shield takes so much more stamina when you don't have the strength requirement for it. So I just get completely obliterated. Now you can actually go to the round table hold before Margit by activating this cutscene and then ending the fight by either dying to Margit or killing yourself by jumping to the side. So that's what I go and do. Once I get there, however, I actually have to use somber smithing stones to upgrade the short sword. So that kind of bummed me. Now, the only Somber Smithing Stone one I know that is early game and that you can just pick up is actually in Castle Morn, so that is where I go next. Also, when I get to Castle Morn, there's this big dude with a gold head, and he just destroys a demi-human that tries to attack him, and then he literally just runs over to me and destroys me as well. It's so funny.
There's a face I've not seen before. I know that you can see a menial again, foul, crank, sorrow, whatever. You take this. Now you've no reason to. Now then, away, you've no reason.
After that encounter, I go talk to this dude that gives me a twig, which is kind of weird. And then I go down to grab the Somber Smithing Stone 1. With that Somber Smithing Stone 1, I upgrade the sword, and with the smithing stones that I've collected from the beginning of the game all the way to Castle Morn, I use to actually upgrade my shield as well. So now they're both +1. Yo! The next part is more optional, but I go grab all 3 sacred tears that are in the Weeping Peninsula. The first one is in the Frenzy Village, near the Grace where you fight the Knights Cavalry. The one is not too far away from the demi-human ruins, and then the final one is in the Fourth Church of America, near the big rock with legs and the big Liberty Bell as a ball sack. And then, just consume them all at once. I then go take down the big rock with legs and, a Liberty Bell as a ball sack by hitting the fungus off of its crusty ass toes. And basically this is for later, so I can duplicate a boss remembrance, and it's probably going to be Godric. After I take that thing down, I go to the Tower of Return so I can get the Blessed Dew Talisman, because it's really good for the upcoming fights. And, I just get completely laid out by the giant rock giant that's over there. So, yeah. I then go to the Groveside Cave that's near the gate side, or the gate front, to actually kill the Beastman of Farum Azula. I don't really know why I did this. I kind of just did it. Probably for the runes, actually. But, you know, what's actually about to come up isn't really gonna, it's basically gonna make this fight obsolete. Then went to Kaled through the trapped chests in the Dragon Burnt Ruins, and I went all the way up to the big dragon that gives you 74,000 runes. And, basically, I put most of it into strength because of how much strength the later boss weapons actually take. And then I also brought 22 dexterity because of Godric's axe. Also, with the remaining runes I got from the dragon, I upgrade my shield one more time, so it's +2. With the newfound levels and runes and upgrades to my shield, I tried Margit for the first time, and I didn't do too bad. I did get him to half HP before I died, but I didn't have any summons, or what I'm going to put on my shield later, Barricade Shield as an Ash of War.
These foolish ambitions to rest.
After that first try, I tried 2 more times and then got humiliated, so I went to get these skeletal summons. But on the way, I actually grabbed the green turtle talisman, which you're going to see me use later after I beat Margit. I also talked to Dee about the deathweed that you get from the boss that you beat to get the skeletal summons, so I will probably be killing more.
What say you? Very well. I've marked the... It will lead you.
I try the fight, but I noticed that I didn't actually ever get the summon bell. So I go talk to the blue girl, and then I go back, and I try twice, once more, and I still die, and I'm still not running barricade shield. I then realized that I have no skill on my shield, so I go kill the Knights Cavalry in the Peninsula for barricade shield. My final fight with Margit goes a lot better than every other attempt that I'd taken. I was using barricade shields, I had my summons up for a long time, and Rogier, that's how you say his name, was up for most of the fight. I finally killed Margit, and that is the final fight.
Smouldering with thy meager flame, cower in fear of the night. The hands of the fell omen shall brook thee no quarter.
Alright, so I've muted the game audio for this. But basically, that was the Margit fight. And, you know, basically this weapon's skill, the one you get from the tutorial boss, it's really not that good. If you want to stagger low poise enemies, you know, little troops on the side, it's really good for that. But basically, you are going to be using your shield for most of the fight. Now, I put on Barricade Shield on my Golden Beast Crest Shield because it basically just makes you immune to damage, almost. You have to dodge some of the heavier attacks, but you can basically just activate the skill, hold up your shield, and you will be able to tank most of the attacks. Now, this shield comes with no skill on it. By no skill, I mean the Ash of War no skill, which makes it so you can use the special ability on the straight sword. But if you put Barricade Shield on it, it doesn't allow you to use the ability unless you put the shield away because the shield overrides it. So, if you really want to, you can beat this boss with the straight sword skill with no skill on your shield. You can. But that's not what I would recommend. If you're doing this challenge alongside me, I would recommend putting Barricade Shield on your shield so you can tank more damage and have your summons get in there and deal all the damage. And basically, then you can tank for your summons after, you're healed up if you need to. So that was basically the fight. I never really used this. Just get in there when the opportunity is open, use Barricade Shield whenever he's up on you and dealing damage, dodge his heavy hammer attacks, and you'll be able to do that fight pretty easily. I know it took me a couple tries, but it really wasn't that difficult. Alright guys, that was the video. That was the first of hopefully many to come. I really enjoyed making this. It took me a long time to do. And the quality is really not that good. But I'd rather not spend another, 4 hours on it than I have. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. And, subscribe if you're not my cousins watching this. Yeah!